Hello and welcome everybody to today's energy market report presented by myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. So we're going to have a look at crude oil very shortly on the charts, which we currently have a long position on, and we've broken out now to weekly highs. Before we have a look at that, we'll just go through some of the latest developments in the market. So what you need to be aware of as we continue to progress into the US session today, and also as we go into the weekend and next week's OPEC meeting as well. So a very key news item for your diary is going to be next Friday, which is the OPEC meeting. Friday the 22nd of June should definitely be in your trading diary. Now, in terms of some of the latest fundamental developments in the market and some of the latest reports, yesterday we had the crude oil inventory report, and ultimately that has turned out to be a bullish factor, certainly in the breakout that we've seen in crude oil prices over the last 24 hours. So US crude oil inventories fell much more than anticipated last week. We saw gasoline and distillate stocks surprised with an unexpected decline, and with that we immediately saw a breakout on not only oil yesterday, but also gasoline prices as well have now broken out and generated a buy signal. A new report has also been released by the Energy Information Administration yesterday that shows that US estimated gasoline demand has risen to historic highs of 9.8 million barrels per day. So that, of course, again, another bullish factor here. So first of all, before we go back to the news stories, we'll have a look at the price structure of oil right now. So WTI crude oil, it's currently up at the moment on Thursday, up 0.74% on the day. It's up 2.4% on the week. And we're now, if we have a look at this on higher time frames, we've actually reclaimed a very important channel here for WTI crude oil. So you might remember last week we broke back below a 12-month trend channel, but in actual fact on the weekly chart we've regained back above that level. We formed a rejection candle last week which found support at a very key zone. In fact, we found support just around $65 per barrel, ever so slightly broke below that level, found support at the monthly pivot. We had a buy signal at the beginning of this week, but we've now had the anticipated breakout off the back of yesterday's oil inventories data, which has given us further confirmation to enter into a long position here with WTI crude oil. We're retesting just above $67 per barrel. We're coming into some resistance around the 21-day moving average. If we can clear above that level, break above the weekly pivot, there could be quite a lot of upside here from the current zone until we get into the OPEC meeting, which is going to be towards the end of next week. So we have long positions on WTI crude oil right now. In terms of gasoline price structure at the moment, we've also got a buy signal which has been generated on gasoline, and you can see here it's starting to build up some support. We've certainly broken out of some of the recent downward trend here on gasoline, and I would also look at the potential for follow through between now and the end of the week, and certainly as we get closer to next week's OPEC meeting. We've also been tracking Brent crude oil. In fact, earlier on this week we were shorting Brent crude oil. We banked profits ahead of the inventory data yesterday, and we've now reversed position and we're going long on WTI crude oil. But we've got a new buy signal which has also been generated here on Brent crude oil, and if we continue to get a breakout above the weekly highs here, certainly we could look at a continuation pattern. And really the next major level of overhead resistance, there are a couple of levels actually. One of those that we're breaching at the moment resides at $76.80 per barrel. If we break above this zone and clear above the weekly highs, the next major level will be $78 per barrel, and then the next level above that is just under $80 per barrel for Brent crude oil. At the peak here, WTI crude oil was trading at $72 per barrel, and at the low it pulled back to $64.21 per barrel. So right now we perceive the sentiment as bullish for crude oil. We're on the verge of potentially breaking out above some additional key resistance here, which you can see on WTI crude oil resides at approximately $67.50 per barrel. What I will be looking at tomorrow is the Baker Hughes oil rig count and also the commitment of traders data. We'll move over to the net position of managed money. What I'm really interested in tomorrow is whether that has increased. So we've seen this pullback in terms of exposure from money managers and hedge funds over the last few weeks here, and that's been evident in terms of the pullback that we've seen in price as well, with oil breaking down quite significantly over the last couple of weeks. So I'd like to see, off the back of tomorrow's commitment of traders data, whether we see again an increase in the overall net long position from funds, which could be again supportive for price. But certainly from a fundamental point of view and also from a technical point of view, we've got a breakout here on oil at the moment. We are long oil right now, and we'll continue to manage this position as long as we continue to see this follow through to the upside. So again, a very important date for your trading diary is going to be Friday, the 22nd of June, the OPEC meeting. Oil prices have risen over 60% over the last year after the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and some non-OPEC producers, including Russia, started reducing supplies in 2017. The cartel meets on June the 22nd to the 23rd in Vienna, and we're likely to see some volatility in between. Certainly, US President Donald Trump and Iran exchanged sharp words over oil prices on Wednesday, with Trump blaming OPEC for high oil prices and Tehran accusing him of stoking volatility after he withdrew last month from a global nuclear arms deal with Iran. If you'd like to find out more about the exact trades that we will be taking at the Gold and Silver Club in the lead up to the OPEC meeting and on the actual OPEC meeting itself, and find out more about the training services that we provide at the Gold and Silver Club, for more information, please go to www.jointhelivetradingroom.com. The link is also below this video in the description, so you can just click on the link to make an application. And of course, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to be kept updated with the latest commodity reports.